Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Mayfield Toyota Ice Palace here at West Edmonton Mall. We have the 33rd annual Brick Invitational Hockey Tournament going on here today. In day 5 of the tournament, we will have a original 6 matchup featuring Detroit and Toronto, and joined by Conrad Krausert. My name is Adam Hanna. I will be your play-by-play host for today. Conrad will be our color commentator and cue us up for what should be a good matchup, in which, unfortunately, there isn't a whole lot riding on this game, with Toronto Pro Hockey already being locked in and loaded for the quarterfinals. But for Detroit, they're playing for pride, Conrad.
100%. And so Toronto Pro Hockey locked into that 3rd place in the Styles division. So they will be playing, I think it's the early morning, 7:30 game, regardless of result here. They're at 11 points. They can't catch 15, even with the regulation win being worth 3. Red Wings, a little bit of a tough 2 tournaments here for the Red Wings. And my thing about the Red Wings is either they're going to have a very close game to the finish, or it gets out of hand early. So we'll have to wait and see what we see on the ice, because, you know, if it's a blowout, I don't know if that even helps Toronto Pro. You want to have a close game. You want to have it's a tune-up is what it is. You see that in the NHL all the time with the last few games.
Absolutely.
You want to have a close competitor. Obviously, don't want to pick up any injuries, don't want to pick any of these things, knock on wood. But you want to have a tough matchup to remind you that you're not just going to walk over your next opponent in the playoffs. I'm going to give me a second here, and I'll actually look up our standings, make sure I can give everyone the most accurate overview of what's going to happen tomorrow. As I believe it will be Toronto Pro Hockey taking on the Montreal Canadiens. I think they're the 7:30 game, if I recall 100% correctly. Then it will be Team Brick Alberta taking on their crosstown rivals, the Toronto Bulldogs, at the 10:20 start time, or 9:50 start time.
In which we'll have another original 6 matchup with Montreal and Toronto Pro, and then with Team Brick Alberta taking on the Toronto Bulldogs. That's a rematch of the quarterfinals from the 2011 group.
Correct.
So it should be actually 2 very intriguing matchups, to say the least.
And you know, it kind of all, at the end of the tournament, when we're trying to figure out what our final matchups will be, everything relates back to that first game of this tournament, Toronto Pro versus the Bulldogs. That really is your decider between these 2 teams. That was what your point differential comes from.
And that's why every single game during the round robin is critical, whether it's an overtime win or a regulation win. I mean, you need every point that you could possibly get.
And regardless of when it takes place, that was game 1. And now we're here in game, I believe this is 41, about to take place here at this tournament. And so, you know, every game matters. So let's turn our attention now to our land acknowledgement and our national anthems here as we get ready here on ASTV. a quick exchange of gifts here as we are ready for this 41st matchup of the round robin of the 33rd annual Brick Invitational between Toronto Pro Hockey and the Detroit Junior Red Wings. So, you've done a lot more coaching than I have here. So I'm going to ask you, if you're the coach, Lindsay Hofford, for Toronto Pro Hockey, what are you telling these boys before this important game to go into playoffs? Oh, and we have a squid on the ice from the Red Wings supporters.
How original. It traveled all the way here from Detroit.
It must have that tradition.
Yeah, they must have picked those up and brought them on the plane, I think. That might cost extra.
Or they could have got it here from TNT Market right here at West Edmonton Mall.
I forgot that's located in the mall. But for Toronto Pro, I think it's pretty simple. They're finishing out the round robin. They know they're locked in. I think just a solid, sound hockey game where they can build off the momentum going into the morning. They can feel good about themselves. They want that confidence. And again, they're going against a team that's really just playing out the string. I mean, they got opposite records of each other. Toronto Pro at 4-1, Detroit at 1-4. But we've seen this Detroit team. They have, in their one win, they were able to not only score some goals but come back in kind of an orderly fashion, especially in the third period against the Western Selects. So I mean, it's not going to be an easy game for Toronto, I don't think, by any means, and they got to be ready to play.
Yeah. And if you're the Red Wings, I think it's just all about believing. Believe in yourself. Believe in this team, because this is likely the last time you'll play with this lineup of players around you. And it just has to be playing for pride. And if I've known anything, I've met Alex Tanguay a couple times. Don't know Marty Erat, two of their assistant coaches that have NHL experience, but I'm sure that's what they're telling their players. Just, go out, give it everything you got. There's nowhere to play tomorrow, so leave it all here.
Well, and I think both of those individuals are obviously pros, and they know they've been at the level. They know what it takes, and they've been in these spots before. So, I mean, Tanguay was lucky enough to win a couple cups along the way, and I think he's just going to try and motivate his group to make sure that they're playing as hard as they can here in their final game of the round robin.
Marty Erat was assisting us handing out the 3 stars of the last game, so got to talk with him just for a second before he went down to give his boys the last-minute pep talk. Just to confirm, it will be Toronto Pro opening the game tomorrow. 7:30 West Mountain Time puck drop for Toronto.
As we are underway at the Ice Palace here in West Edmonton Mall, and Toronto Pro quickly works it over the line and gets a quick chance as netminder number 31, Nolan Blankish, had to be sharp there with his first stop of the night. So we got the final 2 games of the round robin play. Saskatchewan and Pennsylvania will finish out the night. And
both of them seeking their first win. One of them will emerge with that little bit of a pat on the back for yourself. At least go out on a win.
Well, at least that's what they're hoping for, as there is no ties here at the Brick Tournament. So, as Conrad alluded to, one team will walk away with a win. But right now we're focused on Toronto Pro and the Detroit Red Wings, as the unis look sick for both these teams. You can tell it's an original 6 matchup. As Toronto Pro, it is Watson from the line, and that shot stopped by Blankish, who had to find that through a few players, but got down into the butterfly, made the stop, as we're about a minute into this opening period.
Yeah, and I'm just looking down on the ice, and you can probably see it from our broadcast location. It looks like someone already might have bit their lip, and it looks like we got a little bit of the crimson on the ice, but I'm just hoping that's not fluid from our Zamboni, because we've had issues with that for both tournaments.
And that'll be to be determined, as the Zamboni crew is usually right to the right of our broadcast booth. There's a shot, and that one hit a body and just kind of knuckled wide, as it will be Alati. Alati, wearing number 77 for Toronto Pro, will cycle that down low. He was looking for Luke Attard, as they put it off the side of the goal, and now the Wings will try and bring it up the strong side boards. That was Thorne. Lee, the big body who plays down the middle for Detroit, will now see Thorne skated out past the red line. And down the left side, Thorne will look to put one on net. And that one easily caught and held. And he kind of wanted to make that a little flashier than needed, but he'll make the stop.
And as he's passing the puck to one of our officials, he made sure to grab it with his glove, and then flip it onto the back of the glove.
So that would be Ethan Fullerton getting the nod for this final round robin tilt.
With that distinctive baby blue tape on the tip of his blade.
Yeah, it's matching the pads, it's matching the uni, and it's matching his lid as well. So good style from the youngster.
Look good, feel good, play good.
We'll see if that's the case as Detroit will bring it into the high slot area. It's stripped by Toronto Pro as they were not able to clear the line. At least we don't believe so. The line wasn't quite there. Let them play as Detroit now will pick it up at their own line. It's Blaze. Blaze will feed it up the strong side boards for number 77. That's Morandi. Morandi couldn't quite keep a hold on it. And now it will go through everybody's feet all the way down the ice. They're going to wave off the icing. You see one of the officials wearing Richter on the back. I don't think it's Mike Richter.
No, and the other one's
New York Ranger.
The other one's Bozak. So a couple NHL names.
Maybe it might be related. Highly doubtful.
Tyler was an Eastern Canadian. So I don't know. Maybe the family made it across the prairies.
As it will be Simon for Detroit. He lost it to Riley. Riley couldn't get the puck in deep, and Detroit will start their transition to the weak side. It's Reed. Reed thought about dropping it, thought about shooting it, but he'll play it down low on the rim as it will go to number 40. That is Blake Tanguay. In the one game that I called with Detroit and the Western Selects, Tanguay was in the box a few times from playing the body a little bit too heavy.
I've seen him a few more times, and he has a wicked wrist shot, but much like his father, pass first rather than shoot.
And Toronto coming close there. That was number 87, Brock Manders, as he tried on the backhand there, hit the outside of the mesh. And it remains scoreless here as we got 8:35 to go here in the first period between Toronto Pro Hockey and Detroit. As Detroit will get that puck deep, and they will change their forwards, as that will give Toronto Pro some time. Get their eyes up. Nice breakout there as they pop to the middle, then to the far side for Hackett, which would be your near side if you're watching at home, as Toronto will play it to the weak side point. Here's a wrister right on, and that one is knocked down by a high stick as they continue to let him play. Reed will flip that off the window, and now it's a race for it as Deskins will get there. Deskins will spin. We'll try to feather that across for Lee, who's right back out there for Detroit. And now Toronto back the other way. It is Hackett. Hackett crossing his feet over. He's got his eyes up, and now throws it to nobody but number 54 for Detroit. That is Isaac Lee. Lee will pass it to Deskins. Deskins will now send it back to Lee. Lee had a little trouble with it, but it rolled right to Martin. And Martin, his shot was steered away, and now Toronto Pro will bring it up the near side wall again as Detroit had a chance there, Conrad.
Yeah, two tall forwards parked in front of the net, trying to just whack and hack that one towards goal.
As Moore, we're in double 8 for Toronto Pro. Lets the wrister go as Toronto Pro right from the near side dot. And Detroit having to clear. That was number 16 for Toronto Pro there, Ezekia. And now it will be Thorne with the wrister on. Easy stick save there by the Toronto netminder. That would be Ethan Fullerton.
I get made fun of whenever you mention the number 88 in Toronto because I think Eric Lindros and all these young kids think Mitch Marner.
I would have grown up in the era with Eric Lindros, so I would support your theory. As Moore at the point again, he lost the handle, but Detroit almost overskated it as well. That was Morandi, and couldn't quite get away as Alati will go D to D, and Toronto will have it go off a stick, but it will lob down below the goal line as Detroit swarms the puck carrier. And now we'll work it up the strong side wall. It is quickly intercepted there by Toronto's number 21, Riley. And quickly, Detroit back the other way. Morandi gets the outlet from number 17. That's Haringa. As that shot goes wide. And Toronto, once again, will wheel it around their own net. Try to attack the middle of the ice through the dot lanes. That's what you tell your defensemen to do. That way they have kick-out options on either side. Or they can elect to just dump it in, just like he did there. As Detroit will look to go up the strong side wall to the weak side D. Couldn't quite execute. Toronto, nice job on the transition. As they go D to D to the weak side. Now it's Hoang. Hoang for Meisner. Hoang will pick it back up. Blaze is in after him. He'll switch with Corbin of Detroit. Corbin getting his stick up onto the hips of Hoang as Toronto will keep it alive. along that far side wall. We're down to 5.5 to go in the first period.
Only,
not a whole lot to report so far.
Yeah, only 3 shots total between these two squads, but there might be another chance here with Lance streaking in.
As Lance lets the backhander go, and that one just caught a piece of the right pad of Fullerton. Now shot, they score! Detroit is going to get on the board first. It's number 9, Blake Reed, putting in the rebound. And the Wings strike first.
Lance, get all the credit in my head for making that zone entry and just making sure to get the puck on net, bounce it off the pillows to make sure that there was a rebound.
And boy, there wasn't a whole lot of reaction from the crowd there. I don't know if anybody really knew it squeaked through the 5-hole, but.
And I think there was some concern from the Detroit families for Lance, who is very slow to get to the bench.
As the Stripes had to make sure that they got the right number right. As Toronto Pro down 1-0 here with 5 minutes left in the period. We were just saying there hasn't been a whole lot to report, and of course, that's almost the foreshadowing of something to happen, and that's exactly what occurred there. As Lee now loses it back in the net. Toronto's going to try and respond here. And I think, Conrad, just judging from the games I've seen, I think this tournament's wide open right now. Anybody can win this thing.
I agree. Anybody can beat anybody at any time. But at this point, there is 2 levels almost of this tournament. There's a couple teams at 0-5. And then there's the level where a lot of these teams reside, which is that 3-2, 2-3, or 3-3 record at the end of the tournament now. And then there's the teams who are at the 4-1. There's truly a separation in that level.
As the quick release by Anders almost snuck through Blankish as he had to stretch back. He got a piece of it with his glove. And again, I was paired up with you yesterday. That's why it seems like we actually have some chemistry on the broadcast. But Conrad was alluding to how pucks have been kind of skipping out of the gloves of the netminders, and you almost saw it there.
Yeah, you did, and I wonder how much of that is mentally right now, because you're playing for pride. You're not really looking forward to tomorrow. Well, there is no tomorrow if you're the Wings.
As Toronto comes close there on the backdoor attempt. Not to cut Conrad off here, but coming close is Toronto Pro, and they maintain possession back of the net as Detroit under some siege here with 3:45 to go, and Toronto obviously not happy. They're trailing by 1.
But to continue the thought, there's no tomorrow for Detroit, so you're kind of easy to lose focus knowing there isn't anything more to play for. And if you're Toronto, you've already got your spot sealed. I think it would have been different if they were still playing for that position between them and the Bulldogs, but it's easy to let that slip. You've already got your 11 points. You're already in.
And we saw a big hit along the wall there. No call.
Oh.
Now they're going to make the call on the icing. That was be Thorne clearing that puck down the ice. Didn't quite make the red. Shots now even at 3-piece, but 1-0. The Junior Red Wings lead.
And it's not a pretty goal. It's a bang-bang play in front of the net, not one of these shots from the point that we've seen have more muscle on it than I'm used to for this age group. But it's a goal, right? They don't ask you how, they ask you how many.
And we'll see how many Detroit is able to put up tonight. As they lead by 1, Hoang will stop up. Good slide step there by the youngster as he will now look for the F3 at the top of the circle. That was number 8, DJ Meisner. But now that pass got broken up by Detroit, and it will be Lance back at his own blue line. He'll try to bring that up the far side wall. That's broken up, and Toronto Pro 1-on-3. They bring it down the left side. It would be number 11. Or no, pardon me, that's not number 11. Tough to see the jersey numbers as it comes back out to the point. And how about that shot block by, I believe that's Tanguay.
That's the young Tanguay,
and
yes.
He is down and might need to get Dad out there.
Yeah, I think that might have hit a sensitive area because he jumped up in the air to block it. So,
and with him being down, we might be able to get a look at that first Detroit goal.
Let's see if our production man, Cody, So the first save initially made gets it into a low danger area, but puck just bounces around Yeah, just through the 5-hole. Unable to close it is the Toronto netminder.
So obviously we hope Tanguay is going to be okay here.
And I was going to mention this actually about the young Tanguay here. Every other game in this tournament, he's had a very unique tape job that looked very similar to his father's, where he taped the heel of the blade and not the toe. He's changed that up. And we all know, hockey players at any age group, creatures of habit, creatures of superstition. So I wonder if that's just like, you know what? We got one game left here. Let's change that up. Let's see how the new stick tape works. And, you know, maybe he'll go back to the other one after blocking that shot.
Well, that's, I guess, why they wear the gear, and doesn't always protect every spot of you, but hopefully it did enough where it's not too bad, and he's back into the hockey game here.
I think Toronto Pro is arguing about where this face-off is.
Yeah, actually, that they have a case, as the shot was inside the offensive zone, but by the time the whistle would have went, it was back in the neutral ice area, so it makes sense. I think they originally thought it should be off the initial shot, but now Hackett overskates it, and it will be Deskins. Deskins is trying to dangle his way to the middle of the ice. That's broken up there by the stick of number 98, Benjamin Diarra. And once again, Detroit will work it back through the neutral ice. It will be Lee. Lee had that knocked off his stick by Diarra, who's wearing number 98, the old Pavel Bure number for the Vancouver Canucks.
And good news, Tanguay is up and with his line mates on the bench.
So a little bit of a stinger for the youngster, as we have a minute and a half remaining here in this first period. Hackett will bring it down the right side. Simon trying to stay with him, and he just got a piece of him where Campbell could come in and pick up that loose puck.
Body position and jostling allowed. It's the big body checks that are not allowed at this age group.
And we actually saw one of those just prior to Tanguay blocking that shot. No call on it, though, so the Stripes will have to see if they let him play here in this second last game of round robin, otherwise known as game 41, according to Conrad.
41st to 42.
As Toronto at the line, another wrister knocked down by the glove of Simon. And Lee now. Lee. Good stick on puck there by Attard. And Deskins quick to pursue Watson in the far corner. Watson gets away from him. His backhand D-to-D was just out of the reach of number 88 Moore, as they continue to battle along the near side boards here. We're under a minute to go in this first period of play. If you just got here, Detroit with the lone goal so far. That was off the stick of Blake Reed. And we know one of the helpers went to number 11.
We're going to have a penalty here.
I believe this is going to Toronto Pro Hockey.
Correct, a trip to Toronto Pro Hockey. And if you're confused as to why we have those red paddings on the home penalty box door, we didn't break the window. I was told it was removed so that our camera team, who are doing an amazing job here at this tournament, can get some bench shots instead of having to look through the glass. So luckily they've all got helmets on. And oh no, Bozak saying that no, that the away team had already been given their chance to get their forward or their D changed out.
So we'll have the Erat line for Detroit, lining up with Morandi and Haringa as Detroit tries to sort out their back end.
Two left-handed defensemen out here on the power play.
And it will be Thorne and Banda. Banda, the big body, couldn't prevent Toronto from clearing that puck, as there's 10 seconds left in this period. And Detroit looking for one last chance, but it's going to skip over the stick of Morandi, as Erat will pick that off, but with only 1 second left, the clock will wind down. And like we kind of mentioned, not a whole lot to report other than the one Detroit goal, but overall not a whole lot going on in that first period of play.
I wonder if that's a feeling out process, or just both these teams knowing, you know what, let's conserve our energy. We got a big game coming up, so kind of 6 of one, half dozen the other, I probably bet. And I finally figured out what this is on the ice. It is a trail that leads from where that squid was laying on the ice all the way to our door. I was worried it was transmission fluid or fluid of some type from our ice resurfacer Zamboni machine, and I don't think I have any more worries about that.
Well, I think if you're Toronto, like you kind of mentioned in the pregame, I mean, they got to have that sense of urgency still within their game because they can't just turn it up and then turn it down. They have to find a way to get going here after maybe a slow first period.
And some people can. There are some people that can flip that switch. I think of football players more with that, where you flip the switch on it if you're on the defense and kind of turn it off when you're on the sidelines. But hockey's not like football. Hockey is a sport where momentum carries over through games. And especially in tournaments like this, where you're playing so many games in such a short period of time, momentum and mentality mean a ton. And as we see this, the Toronto Bulldogs fans have started to trickle in. You can kind of see some of the fans and players down on this left pro hockey end. And I've seen a couple of them in the upper area. So I wonder if they're cheering for their crosstown. Apparently there's not much of a rivalry. I'll call them crosstown rivals still, but I wonder if they're cheering for Toronto to go in with some momentum to try and meet them in the playoffs.
Well, there's always that possibility, as I have to say, I love the Maple Leaf unis. I mean, retro, and they look good. And even the Detroit unis. I mean, how do you go wrong with those?
That logo is so iconic and so hard to get wrong.
So time is up on the short intermission.
Yeah, the 2 minute, just enough time to just get a couple words of encouragement from the coaching staff.
You can see the assistant coach at Toronto Pro is trying to fire him up there, so we'll see if they're able to provide a little bit more juice in this second period, as Detroit be looking to go up 2-0. Toronto is obviously looking to tie things up, as we have a quick whistle on the glove pass.
And we see Marty Erat had the whiteboard out for quite an extended period of time with his defenseman there.
Erat's been dangerous, as Detroit will start with the man advantage. A minute and a half remaining in that power play, their first of the evening, as Reed will get it down to number 63. That is Chan. And Chan will try to play that out on his forehand. Corbin, you can tell that kind of stung as he tried to knock it down with his glove. And now Toronto Pro will send it the length of the ice right on to Blankish, who again hasn't been tested a bunch and has to stay alert back there as a couple Red Wings collide. Corbin now will kick it out for number 21. That is Thorne. Thorne quickly turned it over to number 77. That would be Alati. And again, Toronto doing a good job early here in the period of just making sure they kill off the last minute of this penalty.
I've never understood the whole blocking the puck with your open glove hand. Like, that just, on most pro-style gloves, that's just a thin layer of leather between your palm and that biscuit that can be traveling with quite some velocity, even at this age group.
Unfortunately, they can't switch to baseball gloves to make it easier. However, Conrad not wrong, as Toronto tried to bring that from below the goal line to the net, but couldn't quite get it. There was Hoang. And Hoang, we've said his name a few times so far in the first period. He's been maybe one of the more dangerous Toronto Pro players in terms of possession, at least.
Yeah, and definitely has his head on a swivel. Definitely make sure to know where every player on the ice is. And it's a way to be dangerous out there.
As Gowing, for Toronto broke up that play. Detroit now gets it back inside their own line. Lee is trying to jump up with Deskins. Deskins thought about cutting to the middle. Now he's going to delay about 5 feet inside the line. Looked back to his point man, but then elected to cycle, as Hoang will pick up this puck on the far side. The Wings couldn't quite catch up to it. Now they do, as that's Martin over there. And Toronto will play that indirect off the boards. So far, just a very slow pace to this second period.
Slow-paced game in general, I would say.
As we're waiting for some fireworks to go off here, whether that's a hit, a goal, a shot block, whatever it might be. We saw the one shot block from Tanguay in the first. He's back out there. And okay for the Wings, as the left pad saved there by Blankish once again, but again from long range, as this one will slide ever so gently down into the Toronto zone, and now they will try and stretch it out, but that one's going to get by everybody, as Mancari got a piece of it, but on the wrong side of the red, as we are about 3 minutes into this middle frame, and it remains 1-0 Detroit.
I do have to apologize on behalf of my previous play-by-play partner for getting that name wrong. Mankari was what he was called for a lot of the tournament. So apologies to the Mankari family about that. We do our best here at this tournament, but it looks like it's it looks like it's spelt that way. So
as Toronto will break over the line, it's Manders. Manders will let the shot go. Nice job by Banda, coming over in a hurry and getting his stick on puck and blocking that shot. Now Detroit back the other way. They got a burst of speed. They will bring it down the left side is Morandi. Morandi will spin to his backhand, now to his forehand. Centers, and it almost bounced off a body, and Fullerton had to look behind him there as it almost squirted through the 5-hole once again.
So just gonna further my comments on the Mankari family. His father Mark was is one of the assistant coaches and did play some pro level game himself. Said he always got Mankari, regardless of where he went.
Well, luckily it's not just us that's sleeping at the wheel. As Watson lets the high wrister go, and Blankish flashes the leather there and makes another good stop as he is getting tested a little bit more ever so slowly and is up to the task.
Yeah, and didn't have the puck bounce out of the glove as we've seen. Made sure that one stayed secure in that trapper.
And you can tell it's Friday night here at the Ice Palace. They're playing some Sean Paul, trying to get the crowd fired up for their Friday night. Maybe go out to the club after, do some dancing.
I've heard rumors that some of the parents have actually headed to the Cactus Club after and have met a few of the Edmonton FC players while they've been there.
I am quite surprised you haven't commented on the Stamps absolutely stomping on the Elks last night. As Toronto will get a couple whacks at it, but that one couldn't make its way to the cage, and now it will be a soft chip entry by Reed. Nice play to get it by Chan. Now Reed will cut to the net and couldn't quite keep a handle on it, as a nice job there by number 9, Blake Reed, who was looking for goal number 2 on the night and came close.
Big, strong power move there, just like power moves from Kadeem Carey all night long last night in that football game you mentioned. There we go. I got my one shot in.
I was kind of hoping you didn't see the highlights.
Oh, I made sure. The bubble in the turf, that was a good highlight.
See, I wasn't sure if I was getting the call today, so I'm like, well, maybe I won't have to take the abuse. But here I am, getting called up from the minors. As Toronto now Gowing lets the wrister go. It's blocked right in the slot area by the Red Wings, as it looks to be Thorne giving chase. He was the one that blocked that shot and then tried to activate into the play. Now he'll retreat back with Banda at the blue line as Gowing plays it once again. Back of his own net, D-to-D. It went past his partner to Huang on the wall, and Huang gets upended. Now Detroit will slide it back softly to the point as it is cleared out of harm's way, and a little poke there to Meisner from Riley. Couldn't quite get there past Banda. And once again, Detroit coming back the other way as they go quick up. Lee trying to make his way towards the paint as he couldn't get a shot there. And now Martin has that puck chip by him. And here comes Toronto Pro once again as they try to settle down the rolling puck. 3-on-2 over the line. Huang's got Riley going to the net. Shot right on as Huang was taken down. That was a point blanker, and Detroit will touch up. And Toronto Pro will now go to their their first man advantage. Detroit 0 for 1 so far. And we'll see if Toronto can make do.
Another great power move, just trying to cut the way in. You call it the half eagle when you get that one hand off the stick and try and bull your way towards the net. And I like that name, and I do think that a lot of players have been using that this tournament, just trying to get a step in towards the middle and use the size differential that some of these players do have. You do see a lot of the size difference at this age group.
I still haven't really grown since that age, so, I mean, that's why you got to sit on the chair during the pregame show.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Well, hopefully the viewers are getting a good little laugh because, I mean, they didn't want to say it either, but I said it for them. So Detroit shorthanded, a shot right on, and it's kicked out by the left pad of Fullerton, who had to make 2 stops there. And not what you're looking for if you're Toronto as they bring it back over the line. and had a little trouble with it, and you can see Toronto making a quick line change 28 seconds into the power play, and Detroit with the best 2 chances so far.
I can tell you, I couldn't bend like that if I was Fullerton. Wow, what an athletic save there. Making sure to get the leg shooting out to make sure that wasn't just the first save, but the second that also went to the wayside.
As Ataro is out there with Alati. And
it's a tard.
Azakia.
We've got the wrong pronunciation in the guidebook. I got it from the coaches a couple days ago.
So it is a tard.
Correct.
Correct. All right. As we have 1:10 remaining in the Toronto power play, their first of the evening. Again, brought to you by Tkachuk Advisory Group at Scotia Wealth Management. As Moore has that go off his stick back into the far side corner, and he was quick to just backhand that one away. As Attard now will get the outlet from number 4. That is Ozzie Watson. Now Attard brings it over the Detroit line. He gets knocked down from behind. Now Attard trips his man. That one could have been called, but they let him play. Watson now spreads it out, goes D to D. The shot by Chan is right on, and Blankish once again makes the stop. Couldn't quite control the rebound maybe the way he'd like, but Detroit's Reed back the other way. Reed will leave it for Lance. Those two are in on the first goal. Toronto tries to make the stretch feed to Riley, and Blankish had to play that one as it was on net, and that negates the icing. Now Chan, shot off a skate, bounces right to Meisner. Now back to Gowing, the shot. It was tipped by Riley. It hit the outside of the net as Toronto gets their chance there on the peeper.
And they're going to go to a 5-on-3 if they pass this puck up.
As Chan lets the wrister go, and that one, I think, hit.
Knocked down by a big mitt in the crowd.
Yeah, that's what it looked to be. But we got a body contact penalty coming to Detroit's number 19, Maddox Blay.
And rather, that happened just as the power play had ended. So we're just going right back to another Tkachuk Advisory Group at Scotia Wealth Management power play. At the Tkachuk Advisory Group, Scotia Wealth Management, we share a passion for our community. We believe wealth is about more than just money.
And so again, Detroit trying to sneak out Tanguay for the draw. A little confused as they did take another penalty.
And Marty Erat with the good old shaggy hands. Wasn't me.
It's a good song. As Toronto controls the offensive zone draw, they look for a quick shot. It bounces wide. Some of the fans behind the net wanted a penalty.
I think that's all the Bulldogs players that wanted a penalty there.
Well, they are cheering for their Archtown rival as Gowing lets the wrister go right on. And once again, Blankish has provided a lot of stability in the pipe so far as the shot count now 11-6 Toronto Pro.
Yeah, it almost looked like Banda got a stick on that puck as it was traveling towards the net. Big, tall D-man just trying to get something away from the net and might have tipped it en route, but goaltender on point.
The draw will come to the right of Blankish.
Oh,
in the Detroit net. Yeah.
Great song, a wrestling theme now in All Elite Wrestling.
They started that tune too late. As Watson has that skip through his feet. We got 3.5 to go here in this middle stanza. It remains 1-0 Detroit off the stick of number 9. That was Blake Reed. As Toronto has 1:20 remaining in their power play as they stretch out the ice, move it to Hoang. Hoang, like we said, has been pretty solid for Toronto Pro. He's going to walk off the half hole. Eyes up, lets the shot go. Nice job by number 24 of Detroit. That's Brendan Martin, as he has the good second effort and manages to clear that puck back into Toronto ice.
There was a lot of artwork going on the Red Wings bench there from the coaching staff, and it was mainly with the D-men. So I wonder if they're not seeing something out there that they wanted to early on.
And see if the strategy pays off for him, Cotton. As Meisner will drop that to Watson. Watson has room. Shot deflected again, and there's Blankish kicking out the left pad. That one a much more difficult save than it looked, as they're going to say they made contact with the puck there. No call. And with 2:30 remaining here in this second period, Toronto Pro's power play down to 20 seconds as Manders gets tripped, but again, it looked like they went stick on puck, and he went,
Cartwheeling.
he went, I don't want to say head over heels, but it wasn't quite that bad. But Toronto.
Simon rocking those sport goggles under the helmet. I remember having to wear lots of those as a kid.
As Mancari lets the long shot go from the near side wall, and once again, Blankish easily stops that one. If we talked about it, but if you're the Wings, you got to be pretty happy with the goaltending side thus far.
Yeah, and if you're in Toronto, you're wondering, what do I have to do? We've seen shots from the point get tipped. We've seen jam plays in tight, and just nothing's found its way past the goaltender.
As Detroit controlled the D-zone draw, Banda couldn't clear, and there's a shot off the blocker of Blankish. As Gowing will keep it in. Good job playing that hard back to the half wall as they center. Puck's bouncing around, and now Haringa will play that across for Morandi. Morandi tried to slide that through the feet of Diatta. And a nice defensive play there by Diatta, wearing number 98. As Detroit's Haringa. Haringa tries to let the wrister go. He had his stick lifted right at the last second. Now he lets another one go. There's a chance he score! Morandi, right at the blue paint, makes it 2-0 Detroit. As he cleaned up the garbage from Haringa on the initial shot and was able to put it past Fullerton.
It has to be said, against the run of play, 2 straight penalties killed off, and then the goal. And they do have to be careful. All the teams have been warned that these flybys need to be quick and straight back to the bench afterwards. Delay of game penalties have been called twice today because of the flybys.
Really? Wow. Stripes cracking down here. As, if you're Toronto Pro, down 2-0 here to Detroit, who, again, maybe you want to say these teams can be the toughest to play against because really they're not playing for anything but pride. And they're just going out. They're okay with making mistakes. Toronto might be gripping the sticks a little tight. We're not sure why. But they trail by 2 with 50 seconds remaining here in this second period. They are 0 for 2 with the man advantage. And Detroit's Reed now will pick it up right at center ice, and he will make sure he gets that puck deep as Detroit will get in after it on the forecheck. Toronto's defenseman plays that around the wall, and now Toronto potential 2-on-1. Attard with it, goes skate to stick, feathers that one through, and Ezekiel couldn't quite get a handle on it in time as Ezekiel still with it. Now he turns it over to Reed, and it will come outside the line. As Reed trying to poke that pass more. Will get there. Reed a little bit bigger than Moore as he will wheel the net and feed the center outlet. That is Attard. Attard almost had one of his line mates jump offside. Now Alati with 2 seconds remaining. Reed will be able to clear that puck. And after 2 periods and heading into the break, the Junior Red Wings maybe surprising everybody right now. They're up 2-0 despite the shot count being 12-8 Toronto. And we'll see if we can maybe get a look at that second goal.
And it looks like we do have it from our amazing production team here at ASTV. Just a turnover along the far boards. Turn up ice, keep your eyes up. Shot blocked there, second effort, third effort, tucked around.
And so for Toronto, their net front coverage was maybe not what they wanted it to be. And if you're the Detroit Red Wings, you can see they're all smiles coming off the ice right now. And we'll see if they're able to maintain that lead heading into this third period of play.
And Marty Erat looked like he had a couple of comments for one of our officials looking over his shoulder, but obviously all in good fun, I think, at this point.
I love it. Well, and everybody comes out through the same entrance/exit, so you're gonna meet them at some point. But after 2 periods, like Conrad said, it's a 2-0 Detroit lead. Where do you go if you're Toronto heading into this final period?
I don't want to say, do you almost just tuck your tail between your legs and kind of just say, this one's a wash. We already know we're going through. We're just out here getting almost a practice out here. Just try and instill good habits, not care about the score. You just play to have good habits for the rest of the way through.
Well, we'll find out if they can do that going into this third period. We'll be coming back for third period action. It will be a 15-minute period between Detroit and Toronto. Detroit with the 2-goal lead after 2 periods of play.
Welcome to Pilot Mountain Hockey Academy, your world-class academic and hockey training facility created to maximize each student's athletic and academic potential. Blackjack Stewart Arena, home of the Buffalo, is inside the 46,000 square foot complex, as well as a curling rink and other facilities. The students have a unique combination of successful, well-rounded education at Pilot Mountain Collegiate Institute and the professional hockey training in an encouraging community. The years of experience of on-ice coaching propel our students to the next level, both mentally and physically, in a professional environment. At Collins Hotel, we have you and your family's comfort in mind. Relax in one of our 16 suites featuring king or queen size beds and 36-inch TVs. Suites also include a mini fridge and other kitchen appliances to make your stay as comfortable as possible. During your stay in Pilot Mound, visit Weiser's Restaurant, our attached family-friendly restaurant and bar. It is the perfect location to host group meals, dine with the family, or unwind after a hockey game. Come in and meet our friendly staff offering daily specials on food and drinks, Wing Night Wednesdays, Buffet Fridays, and multiple TVs to watch the game. Weiser's is the place to be. Collins Hotel and Weiser's Restaurant and Bar, located across the street from Blackjack Stewart Arena off Highway 3 in Pilot Mound.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back here from the Ice Palace at West Edmonton Mall. And we're going to immediately bring you back to the highlight of the second goal here from the Red Wings. Just trying to get this move in front of the net. And you know, that actually almost did get knocked away by the Toronto goaltender as he sprawled to get back, swiped that stick back, and because it didn't have a ton of pace on the puck, but game of inches, because this isn't horseshoes or hand grenades. You got to be an exact science here as the puck will be dropped.
Good middies in tight there from Detroit. As Conrad said, they have a 2-0 lead to start this third period. We'll see what kind of energy Toronto comes out with. As Conrad mentioned in the pregame show, they have already got third spot locked up in the division, and we'll be playing in the quarterfinals tomorrow morning, but surprisingly are down to Detroit right now, who is 1-4 on the tournament. And now Deskin's 2-on-1 with number 24. That was Martin, and he couldn't quite return the give and go feed. Nice defensive play there by Toronto Pro, as Moore will slide that on his backhand just outside his own line, as Martin will leave it for Lee. Lee just softly plays that back of the net, where the netminder Fullerton comes out, stops it for his defenseman. We call that a set and wheel. As now Hackett had that puck behind him, no offside. Detroit bench was holding up their arms. I don't see any official unis on them to make that call.
We had the Pats fans all come dressed as zebras, though, earlier today.
Hackett, his centering pass went off a skate. Now Deskin's back the other way, 3-on-2. Erat with Haringa in the middle lane. Tried to get it to him. We got a penalty coming, and it is once again going to Detroit. And an offensive zone penalty is going to give Toronto a chance here early, as we're a minute 23 deep. And they're looking to get on the board here.
And Erat was not too happy with that call. Just a reminder that this game is brought to you by the Brick Warehouse, your source for the finest in furniture. And this power play is brought to you by the Kachuk Advisory Group at Scotia Wealth Management. A couple sponsor messages. Make sure that this tournament can continue to run, hopefully for a long, long time, not just this 33rd annual. I'm so glad we're back here at this tournament, because these players definitely deserve this showcase.
Not sure if anybody's picked up on it, but Conrad is pretty sharp in the booth here. He'll give you whatever stats or sponsors you need to know. As Riley will bring it off the wall. Nice job to toe drag around his man. He scores! Riley will slide that short side on Blankish. Potentially even 5-hole, but whatever way it found its way through, Toronto will get on the board here and make it 2-1, and only needed 23 seconds of that man advantage to cut the lead in half.
That's what you're hoping for if you're a Toronto Pro Hockey fan. Get the early goal. Get the momentum starting to flow in your direction. And you know what? That's just step one. Step two is find another.
Well, we'll see if they can continue to keep the pressure on, whatever the speech might have been in the dressing room. And they've come out with some fire here, as we're 2 minutes in. They've cut the lead in half with a power play marker. And Toronto right back in the Detroit zone. But quickly the Wings will clear as it's Tanguay. Tanguay tries to headman that puck from Lance. Looked like it was a step offside, but play will carry on as Moore calmly plays that ahead for Azekia. Azekia stick handles his way down the right side. He lets the shot go. That one right on, and Blankish, from a bad angle there, is able to cut down the angle and make the stop, as this game remains a one-goal cushion as we're 2:25 in.
So, as you know, as a coach, sometimes that first save after letting in a goal is just as important as or more important than any other save you make in the night. Rebuilding that confidence after, admittedly, a goal that we felt was a little bit shaky there off the start. But rebuild your confidence, re-get your headspace, especially at this age group. Like, mental fortitude is not a strong suit of any 10-year-olds I know. And obviously these are some pretty exceptional 10-year-olds, but still that age where mental strength is not really taught.
They're learning it every day as Huang brings it around the net. He will come to about the hash mark area, try to cycle it down low for Hackett. Hackett now low 2-on-1 developing there. Banda was able to cut him off. Now a chance right on, and the blocker stop made as Blankish looking to preserve this 1-goal lead for Detroit. Toronto Pro definitely dictating the pace here early in this third period as Martin gets it poked off his stick.
Martin was in 4-on-1 though.
Yeah,
And it took all 4 Toronto members to dispossess the puck.
Martin did a good job, though. He stuck with it, got the puck deep. And Detroit's bench, you can see, once you feel that stick pressure, get that puck in. Don't risk the turnover, not now, being up by a goal here in this third period.
So you're saying pucks in deep is actually something hockey players want?
Absolutely. At least us coaches. I mean, we want them to be creative, but when they feel that pressure, we don't want a turnover as Hackett brings it over the line, and it will be offside with 11:18 now remaining. And it remains 2-1 Red Wings.
You know, I understand that there's not much to get loud about in this game, but you almost want that as a player. You want the fans to give you that extra jolt of energy, and they're pretty quiet tonight.
I don't disagree, especially for a Friday night. They could be saving it for later tonight, and that we could understand. On the party side, anyways. As Toronto Pro on the half wall. Mancari tried to slide it to Attard. Attard will try to slide that underneath Erad, who went down to both knees. Now Erad back on his feet will send that across to Haringa. Good heads-up play there. Haringa trying to play that puck to himself. He'll cut the middle of the ice, take it to his backhand, now slides it to Morandi. The shot didn't miss by much as Fullerton got out of position there after the shot, but kind of composes himself and gets himself back into position as we're going to have another penalty, and it's going to be a holding the stick call. And I believe it's going to Toronto this time. It's going to be number 10, Dylan Lamborn.
And Dylan Lamborn trying to pull a Mark Giordano and talk his way out of the holding call. We did see that happen earlier this year in the NHL, but very much uncommon.
And Toronto, who we just saw score their first goal of the evening, that was a power play marker. We'll see if Detroit's able to answer back with one of their own, and hopefully we can get you that power play marker. Our man Cody is getting that set up for you at the next stoppage. Hopefully is Lance. We'll pick it up for Detroit. Good stick on puck there by Gowing. He backhanded it up the wall. Simon is able to keep it alive for Detroit as he'll retreat back to the point now. Tanguay will just let one fly. That one looked like it was going to go out the other side, but taking no chances is Fullerton in the net for Toronto.
Fullerton throwing a little bit of flair on that one. Trying to build his own confidence back up after letting in 2 goals on 8 shots. Shots currently lead for Toronto, 15, Detroit 9.
As the 50-50 draw is won back by Detroit, it's Campbell backhanding that back behind the net. Watson will get there though for Toronto Pro, as you can see that puck on edge will make it all the way back down into Detroit ice as Campbell will pick up the D-to-D from his partner. That was number 97, Simon, and
that's going to be an icing
that
call.
Actually went for icing, yeah. So with 9:36 remaining and 1:05 left in the Toronto penalty, Toronto's going to get a look here on the ozone draw.
Yeah, that puck just using the fresh ice surface to slide its way all the way down.
And Toronto will lose the... it looks like they...
A little scramble draw, we'll call it.
Now they've lost the draw as Detroit will hit the brakes and try to clear that up the wall. Instead, it goes off a stick. Might have taken out a spectator. As the draw will come outside, I promise we'll get to that goal. Again, some quick whistles here. So as soon as we have a little bit more time, we'll definitely flash it up. Conrad, in the meantime, is going to just dance his way through this third period.
Yeah, I'm just glad that the camera isn't on me. These dance moves are subpar, unlike the action on the ice.
Yes. Again, Toronto Pro will clear that back down into the Red Wing zone. 35 seconds remaining in this Detroit power play. It remains 2-1. Could we see some overtime here? in game number 41. Now might be a good time to look at the goal.
Yeah, I think we'll have a second here.
Cody's got her up. This would be the Toronto Pro first goal.
Just tucks it 5-hole.
And
Quick hands.
You were bang on there with Riley. What an individual effort there. Couldn't tell if it beat him short side or 5-hole, and that gives you the video evidence. As Attard will have it on his backhand. That one slides through the paint. Oh, out to the far corner. 8:45 now remaining.
You can definitely see a focus for Toronto Pro, trying to just get pucks into towards that blue paint, trying to just have a lucky one bounce their way in.
And look at Chan just control that puck, bring it back, gets his eyes up, and now plays it down for Attard. Attard was in a race with Banda, as Banda will get it by Attard, get it to Lee in the middle. Deskins plays catch with Lee. Lee couldn't gain the zone as Haringa jumped offside. Now Haringa will pick up the indirect off the boards as Gowing will try to be solid on his stick there, plays it around the dasher, and you can see it got stuck up there, and the fan was actually saying, oh, don't be swinging at that puck.
And the whistle had already gone. Smart move, because we have seen a couple of those calls where it's like, you're battling after the whistle, get the offsetting roughing calls, and nobody wants that in the game like this.
Well, that lady could have got her hand chopped off there on a couple slashes. As Detroit's Haringa tries to get there. We're back to 5-on-5 play. As Haringa brings it out, the shot right on, and down is Fullerton, and he was able to just get enough of the blocker and keep it in front of him.
And then does a little bit of a snow angel, making sure that it did not cross the line.
I feel like we're flashing back to the 80s here with the last few songs.
Last few songs in the jerseys. Well, it is a more modern Toronto Maple Leafs jersey. Their other one is, I do believe, the Winter Classic jersey that they wore when they did play the Red Wings.
As Simeon couldn't quite hold the line there. I apologize. I thought it said Simon on the back of his jersey, but it's Simeon. So again, I'll get a coffee after this game and make sure I'm a little bit better for you. As Detroit will work its way down the right side as Erat. Erat will play it deep and will go off for a change now as his two line mates, Haringa and Morandi, going after it. Toronto breaks it out. Hackett will come through the middle of the ice. He's got a head of steam and he's got some room. Hackett will let the shot go, but that one goes wide. Spits out the other side. And Haringa quickly just rims that out, and he'll go for a change as Detroit trying to get the last few members out there from that original change. As now Reed, fresh out of the box, plays that on his backhand, back of the Toronto net. We got 6:55 remaining here in this third period. Can Toronto find a way to even up this game and potentially force overtime? As Hackett is trying to be a one-man show, lost control, and again Detroit coming back the other way as they just chip that in to that far corner.
Good old chip and chase style game.
And
here.
I'm wondering how much energy Hackett still has as he's trying to split the D. We've already seen him go back and forth a couple times. Now here's a chance for Mansers, and that shot didn't make its way through. As Manders had a 3-on-1 going to the net, but couldn't get it there. Now Blade goes back forward for Detroit. 6:10 now left.
That shot chopped down the Detroit defender, and he's feeling it on the bench. That was number 4. Oh, where'd my roster?
And they center! And what a stop there by Blankish as he robs Alati on the back door. And that could be the game changer for Detroit as they hold the 1-goal lead.
And now the fans get involved.
And that could be a highlight reel stop going to that Sports Center top 10 tonight as Toronto's man gets taken down hard into the boards. That was a Tard no call as she's starting to ramp up with 5.5 left. As the shots favor Toronto Pro 16-10. Doesn't really feel like it. And now Detroit a breakaway. Martin's in. Moore trying to get a stick on him. The shot. And that one kicked away with the left pad of Fullerton, who's trying to keep his club in this hockey game.
Great job by Moore not giving the center of the ice. And now he draws a penalty. Great shift by the young Moore. Oh.
And the music is appropriate.
Yeah, 2 great plays on that shift. Oh my goodness. And it's going to be the tall Lee, who did just have his play shut down by Moore, heading to the box. Having some issues with that box door on the away side.
So the draw will come to the left of Blankish, who just made a sensational backdoor stop. And will he be able to preserve as that one's loose to the paint? The rebound, they put it in, but the whistle went prematurely, and Detroit didn't like how Toronto put it in after the whistle. But they come very, very close to evening up this game.
And that's a size mismatch and a half there between Banda and I believe that was Young. I think that was DJ Meisner.
And I love how Toronto's stacking on the power play draw, putting 4 men on the draw in case there's any 50-50 puck battles. Let's see if they do it again here. Moore's getting right down to the curve of the circle.
Yeah, and there's communication from the Detroit bench trying to tell the D-men where to be for that style of face-off.
As the shot from the point, it's going to be a high stick on Toronto. They don't touch it, though, so they're good. As a nice job by Mancari letting Detroit's band to touch it, but now a 3-on-2 back the other way. It's Lance. Lance with Erat. Lance sucking the defenders over. That pass didn't get past Moore. Now here comes Toronto Pro back the other way. Mancari, 2-on-2 over the line. Mancari looking to use the defender band as a screen. Shot hit him and bounces to the far corner. 4.5 to go now in this third period. Toronto looked to have tied it, but the whistle went, and it remains 2-1 Red Wings. Now a cross check from behind on Mancari. Detroit playing tough in their own end right now. Moore gets the puck back at the point. The wrister hit Mancari in front. He doesn't know where it is as he spins a full 180 there and couldn't find it. And now Detroit is able to clear. That's Lance, and a flurry of action in the Detroit zone.
I wasn't sure if that was an Axel or a sow cow there in front of the net.
As Morandi has a man on the delayed offside. That's Haringa. As these two see some penalty kill time. And they're gonna throw up the arm on that one. As it was a little bit of a delayed call. I wonder if the Detroit bench kind of contributed to that one as the shot on.
It's going to be a penalty on Detroit, though.
Oh, wow.
I don't love that call. Oh, boy, oh, boy. I wonder if Toronto takes its time out here.
Boy, look at the Detroit bench just giving it to Richter.
Yep. And as I said, timeout Toronto. 3:39 here to play. Oh, boy. And we got the highlight here of that goal, or of the save, rather.
And she's a point blanker.
Just barely reaches that glove hand back.
That might be the save of the tourney. I haven't been here all week.
It's certainly in the running as you see us getting our slow-mo ready here.
Wow.
That
is a terrific stop by Blankish. And I would think that he's got to be in consideration for the first star selection. If
you know, you're talking about save of the tournament. The Toronto Bulldogs goalie had a very similar stop. That was going to be Ariana. Had a very similar stop earlier today. So anything you can do, I can do better through all of the goaltenders here in this tournament.
Well, you know the Detroit bench is going to erupt if Toronto manages to tie this game. As they have a 5-on-3 for 20 seconds. Toronto called their timeout. We'll see what they got drawn up here as they will try to center. That is Manders. Manders is out there with Hackett and Attard, and now Detroit looking to clear is Erat. Erat couldn't clear. Now Campbell and Corbin nice slide block there. As we're back to 5-on-4 now. Detroit kills off the first penalty. Can they make their way through the second one? Ezekiel is standing wide open on the backside. Toronto can't get it to him. Now it's Hackett. He'll kick it back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel's got room. Lets the clapper go. Right on. Blankish made the stop. And with 2:50 remaining, Detroit's able to clear, and a big stop once again from Blankish.
You saw Toronto arms, Manders going in the air, thinking that tip in the high slot had tied this game, but no, another great stop.
As Toronto forces that one through, trying to stretch out the Detroit penalty kill. Now it is Watson. Watson lets the shot go. That one didn't miss by much as it cruised over the bar. Now it will be Simeon trying to clear against Attard. Simeon right to Ezekia. Ezekia tried to move it, and we got a Toronto penalty now, and that is going to be a roughing penalty along the wall, and I think it's going to be number 92, Attard, going to the penalty box.
That's a terrible penalty to take here. That 2 minutes takes you down to 20 seconds left. Are you going to pull your goaltender when you're down a man? Oh, boy.
Well,
and Detroit not taking their timeout, opting to say, you know what? Well, we're okay with some tired legs out there. Because it's not just our legs that are tired, it's Toronto too.
Well, Toronto Pro will have their hands full here now, like Conrad said. As there's 2:07 left, that's going to be an icing call on Toronto as it's 4-on-4 hockey. I think Toronto thought they were already shorthanded. Shots now 20-10 in favor of Toronto Pro. And it's not that Detroit hasn't played a good game in front of Blankish, but Blankish has been the story in the pipes so far. And Kitty hang on here with 2:07 to go, keep his team ahead. As Toronto will control the defensive zone draw. Hwang will pick up the rim. No, he won't, as it ends up hitting him and it skips out. As that will be Thorne. Thorne through the middle will let the shot go. It slides wide. Thorne now going in against Toronto Pro's defender there, and Thorne ended up taking Gowing's stick with him. As Reed for Detroit now leaves it for Lance. Detroit, this is all they need to do is just kill out the clock. As Gowing tries to play that ahead for number 8, DJ Meisner. That went by him. Now here is Detroit now on the power play with 1:05 left in the kill and 1:20 left on the game clock. As Detroit, that's Lance, overskated, but Reed waits for his line mate to get on side, now brings it down the left side. He gets upended. Chan, wearing number 63 for Toronto, had that puck roll over his stick. Now he'll go to the other side, but nobody is there for Toronto Pro. You know they're going to look to be aggressive and pull the goalie, as Lance will get upended. That should have been a trip, and instead they leave it as Toronto's able to clear it. They're telling Fullerton to come. So with 45 seconds remaining, we'll have 5-on-5 play, and Toronto having an empty net as Lamborn has Riley with him. Riley will have Mancari cut that puck off. Mancari will try to get it to Hackett. Can Toronto pull something out of the hat here? Detroit's able to clear. Lamborn will move it D to D. Toronto will gain the zone. They bring it down the far side. They are looking to center. They do. Can Mancari find it? He does, but it hit a body in front. Skips back to the far wall. Toronto tries to play that back of the net. Now they go low to high to Lamborn. Lamborn lets the wrister go. That might have eyes. Blankish knocks it down with his glove. It's still loose. They spin. Hit the post. They score! Toronto ties it with 3.7 left. It is Mancari picking up the rebound off the post. And it pays off as we are going to head to overtime with only 3.7 remaining, and Blankish not happy with himself as he had a chance to catch that one, Conrad, and spit out the rebound.
Oh my goodness. From no momentum to all the momentum here for Toronto Pro. Oh boy. Just a scramble in front of the net, and first opportunity off the post, second opportunity finds the twine. Oh, and I'll wait until we have the intermission here to tell you about our overtime rules here in round robin play.
What a finish. We weren't sure if the penalty was going to hurt them, and instead they pull the goalie, get back to 5-on-5. Obviously, with 20 seconds left in the period, they were able to go 6-on-5, but unbelievable comeback for Toronto Pro as they got the early one and then they got the late one. And it was a 2-0 Red Wing lead going into the third period. And instead, we're all tied up heading to overtime.
Speaking of overtime, we will open this with 2 minutes of 3-on-3 overtime. And then it will, if that doesn't solve it, we will go to 2-on-2 overtime. If that doesn't solve it, the NHL-style shootout, 3 aside. And if we're still tied, sudden victory between the two.
We got to see if we can get a look at that tying goal. That was wild at net front there.
It looks like we do have it.
Our crew's pulling it up now. So you can see that the first shot hit a body, bounced back to the far wall. They were able to move it low to high to Lambourne, who found a way to get that puck by the shot blocker, and then it was just absolute chaos.
Off the post, right onto the stick. Sometimes you got to be lucky to be good, right?
Lucky to be good to be lucky. Yes. We're going to have some sudden death overtime here, and why not? In game number 41 of the tourney. Toronto and Detroit tied at 2 the shots after 3 periods. Favored Toronto Pro 21-10. And Detroit will start with Erat, Haringa, and Thorne. Ezekia is out there with Watson and Attard. As both teams, now a turnover by Detroit. Here's a race. Ezekia trying to push it ahead, but look at Thorne with the burst of speed there, gets there first. Now he will try to softly play that back. Good decision by the youngster there, slowing it down, and now Detroit will come back the other way. Thorne moves it up for Erat. Erat cuts the middle of the ice, trying to beat Watson. Watson, good stick on puck right there as they both collide. Now Haringa's got to be careful he doesn't turn it over as Attard's looking to get sprung. Attard, pass broken up there by Haringa twice, in fact, as Ezekia is trying to say, get that stick away from me here. Attard now has Watson driving the lane. Attard elects to try to hit the backside man. Now a breakaway. Thorne is going the other way. He's bursting in, the shot right on, and look at the Toronto defender crash into Fullerton. But Fullerton robs Thorne on the breakaway and keeps it tied.
And gets a pat from the referee saying, way to take the contact.
Where was the call? Where was the call on the play there? That's body contact if I've ever seen it.
Yeah, friendly fire coming in for Toronto Pro. Hearts probably in throats for both teams here.
So now Lance on the draw with Morandi. 2 forwards, 1D for Detroit. Corbin playing the back end. Now it will be Toronto's Chan. Feeds number 97, that is Hackett. Hackett with Manders. So Toronto also going 2-1. Hackett dangling his way through. Good stick lift by Lance just to slow him down a little bit. Now they find Chan. Chan lets the wrister go. It's blocked. Ever so dangerously, Detroit trying to get sprung. As Chan is able to recover, he's got 2 Detroit players on him. Chan will try to play that around the net. It ends up hitting the back of the net. Chan will get upended by Morandi, and it will be Manders turning it over, and here comes Lance. Lance trying to drive this one to the net. He centers, and Fullerton was down, and it squirts out to the faceoff dot area. Lance picks it up again, crossing his feet over. Will backhand that one on, and a good job by Fullerton standing tall. Let that one hit him, and now it's going to be another race for it as they wave off the icing. Toronto is going to change the back end. Chan and Manders is off, and that's going to do it on the first period of overtime play, and what a period it was between these two.
Back and forth, a breakaway opportunity. And if you've ever want to see breakaways, you'll see them in this 2-on-2 period.
Well, we're having a tough enough time getting Cody caught up on the shot count as he's trying to play catch up here.
But aren't you glad we don't go to the 1v1 that we tried in the AJ after this 2-on-2?
Yes, yes. Well, we'd see some pulling the goalie and empty nets, and yeah, it's just 2-on-2 is good, and then let's get to the shootout. As I mean, a team could still pull the goalie if they really wanted to, and go 3-on-2. Well, that's the creativity from the coaching staff. I'm not saying I'm a coach or anything, but it's just a thought.
It's only been mentioned a few times.
Erat is going to be out there with number 21 Thorne. So both teams go 1-1, 1 forward, 1D, and now Watson will try to slide that one through the stick of Erat. Just got a piece of it. Now Erat looks to establish an angle. Watson steps by him. Watson will dangle. He goes to his back end to forehand. He scores! Watson does it all himself, beating both Detroit players, cutting it to the net and putting it home on the blocker side of Blankish, and Toronto Pro will celebrate and win 3-2 and complete the epic comeback against the Detroit Junior Red Wings. here at the Ice Palace tonight. And what a finish it was, as Toronto Pro wins at 26 seconds into overtime and win this one 3-2.
Oh my goodness. We've seen a couple big comebacks here at the 33rd annual Brick Invitational. And for a game that we thought didn't have a ton to it, had a ton of complexion at the end of the day.
Oh, did it ever? Wow.
Yeah.
Like, it got complicated in a hurry. It was a very slow pace first two periods, and then all of a sudden, the third just ramped up with Toronto coming out with more energy, more life, and that really set the tone for the period.
Someone pulled the pin on the grenade.
And for Toronto Pro, we mentioned in the pregame, they got to build off this game, and they're looking to hopefully use that as momentum going into tomorrow morning's quarterfinal.
And the coaching staff making sure to, for Toronto, making sure to give some pats on the back to the defender who ended up turning that puck over.
What a game there is. You can see good sportsmanship by both sides. And Toronto Pro will come away with a very, very entertaining 3-2 victory here at the Ice Palace. You may have some other duties to attend
I got to
to.
head down to ice level here to get
As
to our 3 stars.
Conrad will take our 3 stars momentarily here. We'll take a quick look at the replay. Production crew's doing an outstanding job here tonight, and you can see the dangle and then the drive to the net by Watson, and Blankish head down, thought he maybe should have had that one, but a terrific goal by number 4 Ozzie Watson for Toronto Pro. He wins them the game. And again, if you just joined us, Toronto Pro was able to tie up the hockey game with the net empty as they scored with 3.7 remaining on the clock and found a way to finish this tournament at 5-1. Detroit finishes at 1-5. And we will sign off here to allow Conrad to visit with our 3 stars. We will be back for the final game of the evening, the final game of the round robin between Team Pennsylvania and the Saskatchewan Junior Pats. Thanks for tuning in. On behalf of ASTV, I'm Adam Manna. Have a good evening.
Tonight's first star, from Toronto Pro Hockey, number 4, with the game-winning goal,
Mic check. Sure, we can do that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, your color commentator, Connor Krauser, back with you once again. And we're going to start with our goaltender from the Detroit Junior Red Wings, Blankish. Obviously not the result you want in the final game, but you put in a great fight, and you had a couple of great saves there that led to the overtime period. What can you say about being the backstop for your team for this final game?
Well, I think I did a pretty good job trying to stop all those pucks. A couple slipped by, but I got through. I did save some pucks that couldn't be saved very easily. So
And there was one in the third period where you had to come all the way flying across and get your trapper, the glove, on a hot shot to keep your team in the game and try to avoid overtime. What can you say when you have to make a reaction save like that? When you're the last line of defense, what is it like being back there when you're seeing and then seeing them come down and then after you make a great glove save?
Well, it's a little nervous, but you just gotta strive through and make the impossible save and save your team. And well, I saved my team from. Well, we did go to OT, but it could have been worse.
I gotta say, you're being really a really big sport here. I gotta know it's gotta be hard losing in the 2-on-2 overtime period. So congratulations. It's been a great tournament for you and your team. Congratulations on the second star.
Thank you so much.
I'll let you head back down to the locker room. All right, get both of our Toronto Pro players in here. You guys have to get to bed. You have the early game tomorrow, so I'll keep this short and sweet. What is winning in this game? I know it had to go to this 2-on-2 overtime, but what does this mean for the momentum when you face Montreal tomorrow morning?
I forgot. It's pretty good because we were not having a great first 2 periods, but then we came back in the room and settled down, and we knew that there was 15 minutes left to play, and it wasn't over. And then we came out hard, and we got the W.
Got the W, and you know you have to come back again early tomorrow morning. Was it relief knowing that, you didn't have to worry about the standings after this? You knew you were playing tomorrow. Was that a little bit of a relief knowing you didn't have to do a lot of scoreboard watching after you saw the results of the earlier game? You just had to come out and play.
Yeah, it helped us a lot because we knew we were making it through, but we still had to try our best to win the game.
Let you answer that as well.
Yeah.
Did it feel like you were almost more loose knowing that you didn't have to worry about winning to advance? You didn't have to worry about how many goals you scored or how many you let in. Didn't have to go to those extra tiebreakers you knew you were going through?
Yeah, we just tried our best.
Tried your best and tried to play as a team. All right, I know you guys have to go and get ready for curfew, which should be here shortly. So congratulations, I'll let you head back down to the locker room. For myself, Conrad Krauser, and our amazing production team here at ASTV, we'll see you again for our ice time that begins here.